Hey there everyone, my name's Jenna. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are gonna head off to Homegoods, and you all know that I like to take you through the store with me and point out those specific pieces that will really help to elevate your space and give it that designer feel. But of course, they're for those amazing Homegoods prices, and I also love to give styling tips and decorating ideas with the items that are currently in store. So hopefully you can get some fun decorating inspiration, and then we'll come back home and I'll show you everything that I found for my own space and how I'm planning to style it. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and without further ado, let's go to Homegoods. Okay, so here we are at Homegoods, and something that I've been seeing a lot of lately here are these woven rolling bar carts. And this one was only $60, and it looks super similar to the one that they sell at Pottery Barn for over $500. And I actually own a very similar one, and I kept it out in our garden at our last house, and it was perfect for holding my smaller herb plants and our gardening tools. And these things are so versatile. I would also use them when I was entertaining, like for our gingerbread house decorating party that I hosted a while back. It's perfect if you're low on counter space or you just want to add some layered charm into an outdoor space, and I just love the woven material on these. Another piece that I loved was this little boucle footstool with the round wooden feet, and this reminded me a lot of the one that they sell at Amber Interiors for over $1,000, while this one was only $50. So a very similar look, and I love the mix of materials with those wooden feet with the fabric. Another place I like to check out is the bathroom section, because here they almost always have gorgeous marble stone trays for really affordable prices, and most of these were all in the $15 price range, and I love using trays like this to help elevate a space. You can use these to hold something like a little small tabletop lamp and a candle to help dress up a kitchen countertop, or you can also use them as trays on somewhere like a mantle or a shelf to help organize decor. They don't always have to go in a bathroom, so they're super versatile, and I loved the shape of this one with the little silver feet. I thought that was so precious. I also noticed a bunch of these floral fabric tissue box covers, which were kind of interesting. They had lots of different colors and patterns, and these could just be a fun way to elevate an ugly tissue box and just make it feel a little bit more chic and aesthetic. And next, one of my favorite sections to check out is the decor section. I feel like I always find something good here, like these stunning side tables or drink tables. I have a very similar one that I got off of Amazon, and I just style it as a little plant stand, and it really helps to add some interest to the empty corners of my home in a very simple way. And I really loved that this one had a marble top on it. They had several to choose from with different veining on the marble, which I just thought was so pretty. Now, something that I was super surprised to see here were actual vintage decorative books, and I was looking at the bindings on these thinking how realistic the worn details looked, and then I saw the tag that said these were collected old books, and I just thought that was so neat. They had different colors and styles here, but I'm not gonna lie, they were a little bit pricey at $25 for a bundle of 3 and then $20 for a pack of 2. Obviously, they're curated, but I think at that price, I would just stick to going to the thrift store, but just something kind of unique and unexpected for Homegoods. Now, another versatile piece that could really help to give your space a more elevated designer feel are these shallow stone bowls. And when I'm entertaining, I love to just put my napkins in these and place them on the table. It just feels really polished and elegant, and they also look gorgeous just styled on a table every day with some napkins or fresh fruit inside too. And I don't always check out the paper goods section, but sometimes it's really good. In the summer, there's so many different napkin options, and I spotted these personalized paper napkins, which I thought would be kind of fun for parties. And honestly, you could just pop them in one of the marble trays that we saw earlier, and this whole setup costs less than $20, but it feels really elevated and chic. And actually, this would make a super cute hostess gift if you tied some ribbon around the center. Like, how cute would that be? It just seems so personalized and thoughtful. Another piece that I felt looked a lot more expensive than it was this large handled bowl planter. And pieces like this are really beautiful for styling on a dining table because they're large and help to create a focal point, but they're also low so people can still make eye contact and you don't necessarily have to move them when you're entertaining. Okay, so what do we think of these floral accent chairs? You guys will have to let me know in the comments. High-end designer sites like One Kings Lane and Lulu in Georgia sell very similar chairs with this grandma chic vibe, and they did have a set of 2 here, so you could put them together in a living room, maybe opposite a sofa for a punch of floral pattern. Personally, it doesn't go with my style, but they do have very similar dupes on sites like Wayfair if you're looking for something similar. And personally, if I was looking to add florals, I would maybe start with something like a pillow, something a little bit smaller that I could easily switch out later. And this guy was on sale for only 18 bucks, so a good way to maybe incorporate that grand millennial trend into your space in a small way. Something else I always scan for here are coffee table books. And not only do these look gorgeous styled on a shelf or a table, but I end up learning a lot and getting so much inspiration from flipping through the design photos. And when picking out a decorative book, I like to make sure both the cover and the binding go with my color palette, and I'll also flip through the book to make sure the content feels inspirational to me. So this Nomad at Home book definitely passed the test. Another one of my favorites is this Create book, and I actually own this one, and I love how it looks styled because of the imagery on the cover and the gorgeous brown linen binding. And this book talks a lot about mixing the old and the new, which you all know that I love to do. It also talks about curating your decor in a thoughtful way, and it encourages you to find and hone your own personal style. So definitely another good one if you're looking for more books to style with that have good content as well. Okay, so next, I loved these oversized blossom branches and the realistic feel and movement that they had. They actually reminded me a lot of the large sculptural ones that we have on our console table, with just a bit more of a florally feel, which is perfect for spring and summer. And I also saw these olive stems for only $6, which I felt like was such a good deal. You all know I love my olive stems for achieving a rustic look that gives off that Mediterranean feel, so you can never have too many in my opinion, and I love that these had a really lifelike look to them as well. But now let's head back home and style some of our finds. Okay, so now we're back home and I'm excited to show you guys my finds and how I'm going to style them. So the first thing that I found might be one of my favorites, and it is this beautiful terracotta planter. Now, this guy was only $20, and I loved the little scallop detail on the edge. So what I loved about this piece was the shape of it and the fact that it was handmade. If you look at this really beautiful scalloped rim, this was actually made by thumbprints. So someone made this out of clay. On the tag, it says that it was handmade in Tunisia, and I just love when items are handmade and when you can see the human element through those pieces. It really helps to infuse this like magical, lifelike feel into your decor, and that's really what I look for when I'm sourcing. So I love that I can find something that is handmade, and just the shape of this, how beautiful it is. And I love terracotta, especially like this more muted kind of color of terracotta. I feel like it adds this beautiful warmth to a space, but it's not too, you know, pigmented or orangey. It's just really subtle and beautiful and looks earthy and timeless and classic and really European in my opinion, which is something that I love and something that I'm always gravitating towards. And actually what I'm going to use this for, and I knew it would be perfect the second I saw it, is I love to save plants on the Lowe's plants clearance rack. Every time I go there, I always think of it as saving plants, because one time this lady came up to me and she's like, "How many did you save?" And she has like this whole cart full, and I just thought that was so cute. So I found this little fern there, and it clearly had just been overwhelmed by the heat here because I think it was outside. So I figured I want to make this a little indoor plant. So I brought it home and I repotted it, but the pot is kind of large, so I wanted to find something where it perfectly fit inside so I could have a nice pretty pot to kind of display that in inside my home. So it fits in here. It's not perfect. It could be a little bit bigger, the pot could, but I really like to have my indoor plants in their own plastic planter, and then I like to set those in a well-fitted, larger decorative planter just because it makes watering so much easier. I can just remove the little plastic thing, water it in the sink, let it drain in the sink, and then put it back, versus, you know, something like this that is terracotta, it would kind of get wet and leach onto whatever surface I had it on, especially if I have it on like a wood shelf or a wood console table. I just don't want to do that. So I know I could put like a little saucer on the bottom, but for me, I'd rather just keep it in the plastic planter. So I think this will look really beautiful with our fern, and obviously it's super versatile. I can take it outside, I can put other plants in it, I can maybe do like a little herb garden on my kitchen countertop. So I love the European feel and the nice handmade rustic look of it. Okay, so a couple videos ago, I showed you guys those beautiful woven touch lamps that I picked up, and I showed you guys how they would look out on our patio because we've been looking for something to have a little bit of a light source out there because we do eat dinner a lot during sunset, and I wasn't 100% sold on the white. I did like them and I did keep them, but I found these other ones that I think I like a little bit better just with our space and our decor. So they are these gorgeous twisted brass look lamps. I don't think they're brass, but maybe they are. I honestly don't know. They feel very heavy, like it doesn't feel fakey, which I love. And then the lampshade is made out of this beautiful natural looking kind of like linen-y fabric, which I love. This looks so expensive to me, and right now online these are like less than $20. I will link them if I can, if they're still available. And what I like about this compared to other touch lamps is a lot of the other touch lamps on the top, they were just like this white plastic color. This one actually is covered with fabric, and then it just has like this beautiful brass button, and that's what turns the lamp on. So it doesn't look like it's fakey or cheap or anything, which I really appreciate. And then also, instead of the little plug-in being at the base to charge it, it's under here, so you don't even see it, which is great. But it has 3 different warmth levels, I guess. So there's like a really warm one, then there's a more cool one, and then there's like a medium tone one, which is nice. And I just think these look so expensive, so elevated, and these to me remind me of something that they would sell at like Serena and Lily or Pottery Barn. They just look and feel really expensive, and they would totally elevate a tablescape if you were entertaining. Just like the atmosphere alone of this little light is so nice. And there's a lot of other uses for these as well. They're super versatile. You could just pop this on a little bar if you didn't have an outlet, or even if you have an outlet, it's just a nice thing to kind of add some extra light. If you don't have under cabinet lighting in your kitchen, these actually give off a lot of light at night when you're cooking, so you can just place these underneath your cabinets, and it helps to dress up the countertop and make it feel a lot more homey and styled. But it was less than $20, and it's nice because you can just recharge it, so you can honestly put it anywhere in your kitchen that you need to. They're also great for little side tables if you need a little reading lamp at night, or like a task lamp, or even on a desk. They're so versatile, and they can go all over my house, which I love. So that's why I got it, even in a bathroom, you know, like on a little bathroom countertop or a vanity. So definitely a really good find on this one. And I love the twisted brass detail, how it's just something a little bit different and it adds some interest, but it still looks really simple and classic and elevated. So if you all have been around for a while, you guys know that I love to use my little marble cake stands on my kitchen countertops. I've used them all throughout our different homes, and they're great for displaying things like cookies, muffins, cakes, stuff like that. I love to use them, especially when I'm entertaining or when I have guests staying, because it's so nice to just pop something like muffins or bagels or cookies in there. And because they're displayed out on the counter, guests can feel like, you know, they can just take one, and it's not like they're like rummaging through your pantry or your fridge. And on top of it, it just gives your space a really like cafe-like feel, which is just so cozy, and I love it. And it also adds a little bit of decor that's functional and is a pretty way to display some baked goods. So I have one, but it is a little bit lower. So when I make a cake, I can only make like a low cake before the top would like start to get onto the frosting or whatever. I can't make like a layered cake, which I've been wanting to do. So I was recently at HomeGoods and I saw that they had actually a bunch of these marble cake displays. So I found this beautiful marble cake stand with a tall glass lid. So this way now I can make a tall cake. Also, it's really nice when I have muffins or bagels or something like that when people are staying over. I can make a tall stack because usually I'll like to buy like a dozen or whatever and have a bunch for people to choose from. So this is just nice to have a little bit of extra space with the glass dome. And of course in my mind I was like, okay, Jenna, you already have one. But honestly, there's been lots of times where I wish I had two, because I wish I had one for like dessert that I could put on like our back counter area, and then I could put things like breakfast stuff like bagels or muffins on the front counter, things like scones, stuff like that. So it'll actually be nice to have two, because when we do have guests, I usually like to have a couple of different things for them to grab. So not only that, but when I'm entertaining, it's a great way if I have like a little dessert table or a little appetizer table. These will be really cute to kind of display stuff in an aesthetic way and just help to elevate the tablescape, or, you know, the little buffet table area. so I figured this was a really good deal for $30, especially considering its size. So definitely a really pretty display piece to have in the kitchen that's practical and functional and just makes your space feel a lot more cozy. Okay, so if you guys have been around for a while, you know that we did that pea gravel patio in our last house, and I love styling that area and adding in some beautiful furniture that was budget friendly but still looked a little bit more elevated. But those chairs that we used out there, they did need some cushions, so I was able to find some really nice neutral ones at HomeGoods years ago. But when we ended up moving out here, I had to make the decision whether or not to keep them or leave them, and a lot of them were kind of moldy since we just left them out there. And you know, North Carolina, it rains a lot and it's very humid, so they were kind of gross, and my goal was to bleach them, but I did not have time, so I just ended up throwing them away. And I was so bummed because when I came out here, I could not find any cushions to save my life that I liked and that were in a set of 6. But I did find these really beautiful, super comfortable, linen-y look striped cushions. And I don't know how it happened, but outside on our patio area, we just kind of have like this tan stripe theme out there, which we have an umbrella that's tan striped. We have some pillows on our little patio set that are tan striped. So I figured, hey, why not? I saw these guys online and I was like, they're so beautiful. And when I say online, I mean TJ Maxx. So I typically will see a lot of the same things on TJ Maxx, and then I'll see them at HomeGoods as well. So I actually did see these at HomeGoods last week, which is why I wanted to include them in the video. But I just thought they were so pretty with like this kind of like linen-y look that they had and the subtle stripe detail. Again, I'm all about adding in interest to a space in kind of a subtle, casual way. So when you look at the space as a whole, everything feels interesting, but it still feels calming, it still feels relaxing, it still feels earthy. So that's kind of what I like to go for when I source pieces. So I wanted to make sure that it kind of went with our decor, that it was classic, that it was interesting, that it was earthy and cozy at the same time. So these were perfect. I forget what I paid for them, but I'll insert the price here. I'll look at the receipt. But I think that these will be perfect on our outdoor chairs because for a while they were getting kind of uncomfortable without cushions. So it's nice that we'll have these to like practically be comfortable, but also help to enhance the aesthetics of the space as well. And when you add in textiles to an outdoor space, that's something where it instantly makes it feel more homey, more elevated, more cozy, more styled. So it'll be nice to have these cushions, and the fact that they were really affordable was great. Okay, so I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself on this next one, but a lot of you guys know that we have kind of a blank slate of a backyard. We're planning to add a pool and a lot of like Mediterranean style landscaping back there. So that is the plan. We're not sure how soon we're gonna be able to get there just because of budget and all of that, but it is coming, and that is like the next project on the list. So I really wanted to have some nice pool towels. So I found these beautiful fringe towels, and these are actually made from recycled ocean plastics, which is so cool. And they are super soft and just like this beautiful fringe detail I love. And these were $14.99 each, which I felt like was a really good deal. Just for me, I personally love a good stripe. It's classic, it's never gonna go out of style, it's very timeless, and it just feels very sophisticated, but also casual at the same time. It was funny because I was at another HomeGoods like months ago and I found 2 of these and I was obsessed with them. They had a couple different colors, but I really gravitated towards the black stripe one. So they only had 2 there, so I was like, okay, I'll get 2 because I'm obsessed with those. And then I was at another HomeGoods like just a couple days ago and they had a bunch of them there. So I grabbed 2 more because my eventual plan with these is to roll them up and then have them in a cute little basket, and then I'll just pop that by the door, so that way when people are swimming they can grab a towel and it looks really cute and aesthetic because these are beautiful towels. And honestly, that'd be a great little aesthetic storage idea even for like a guest bathroom or a bathroom, just to roll up some more aesthetic towels and put them in a basket. These are very clearly oversized beach towels though, so I wouldn't put these in a bathroom, but I love these for maybe if we go to the beach and you know you want to take a cute beach picture, or we go to the lakes a lot here. Obviously the dream is to have them all rolled up by the door just so they look really cute and it kind of feels like a little resort, you know, like with the towel service, I guess. Because with resorts, a lot of times they have striped towels and they're all matching and it just looks really cute, especially boutique hotels. So that's kind of the vibe we're going for in this entire house, is just kind of like a Mediterranean resort. So I figured these would be perfect for that, and just a nice little purchase to keep the pool dream alive until we get there, you know what I mean? All right, everyone, that about wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this HomeGoods shop with me and haul. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help to support the channel. And also, I spend a lot of time trying to source links and products that are similar to what are shown in this video. So if you want to get a similar look, I try to link similar products. So for example, like the cake stand, if you want to get a similar look with that, I've linked some similar ones down below. They may not be the exact same dimensions or the exact same coloring and the sizing, so definitely check that and measure that, but that information is down below in the description box for both the shop with me portion and the haul portion, so feel free to use that if you'd like. They are affiliate links, meaning that I get a small commission if you do purchase through those links. It doesn't cost you any more or less, but it does support the channel, so feel free to use that if you'd like. Also, I just want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!